Hi, welcome to another edition of the Alan Rosenberg Show. Let's do a quick recap of yesterday's Rolling Stones concert, a different one on the Hackney Diamonds tour. This was the second show, and this was a special one because it's the first time the Stones have ever played the New Orleans Jazz and Heritage Festival. They were supposed to play it 5 years ago, and they had to cancel that because that's when Mick Jagger had to have the heart surgery. So they were able to play yesterday. Thursday, May 2nd at the New Orleans JazzFest. It was sold out. My understanding is it's the only time a concert there is ever sold out, and they limit the audience. I think they limited it to like 40,000 people. So that was the show yesterday. Now, we are lucky here at the Alan Rosenberg Show because one of our community, who is a regular viewer who always comments on all of our videos, David Kunsley, you would recognize David. He's especially loves when my CDs fall over. He was at the show, and he was so kind that he emailed me some pictures, which I'm going to show some of those pictures he took, and I got some other pictures that I took from the internet as well. And David wrote me, Alan, it was an excellent show. Started a little slow, I thought, but picked up steam. The sound was more of a garage band sound, and I mean that in the best way possible. Mick stayed in motion. Keith had a tissue box by the drum kit. I have heard he is recovering from COVID. I actually have heard that as a rumor as well, and again, he only did one song as a lead vocalist. So the question is that a permanent thing, or is it because he's under the weather? I have heard he's recovering from COVID. Don't know if that's true. I had a great time. Next to me were people from Montreal and Tokyo. Neil Young is tomorrow. Today will be slow. It's raining. P.S. When Sweet Sounds ended, it really did. The last bit never happened. I'm assuming he's talking about Satisfaction, but not 100% sure about that. But David, thank you so much for your comments and your amazing pictures. I'm going to show some. He was right there, like first row, right next to the stage. I have seen the Stones, I don't know how many times, virtually just about every tour since '75. And I have never seen them close up. So I'm jealous, but good on you, David. That is awesome. I'm going to show some pictures. Well, let's see what the stage looked like. I took some of these from the internet. This is when they were setting up, I guess. I think David took these as well. You probably can't see, huh? Let's see if we can get closer, because the pictures are more important than me. So that's what it looks like. Now, you can't really see, I guess, but that's... maybe I'll blow this thing up here. That was before they set up. Yeah, that's before they set up what would be, the extension of the stage when Mick comes out. So that's a cool shot of what it looked like when they were setting it up. There's another one there. You could see what the stage looks like, and that's where it comes out, the lip of the stage, so Mick can perform some more. And there's some people gathering, so I guess you're in this pit or in this pit or up in the front. So nice looking stage at New Orleans Jazz Fest. Pretty cool. There was some Hackney Diamonds. That might have been like when they opened the show. I saw that at the Houston video. They open it up like that, and then they come out. So I'm guessing that was the very opening, I'm assuming. And there's another one with people there. And these, I guess you look around and they have these screens that you could watch. That's what I'm guessing. Let us look at the set list, which I happen to have printed out. And I'll put it up on here as well. So similar to Houston, but a little bit different, and that's a good thing. So here's New Orleans. That's Ronnie Wood's art that he likes to sell. It's a daytime show. I think they played 5 to 7. I believe that's so kind of strange seeing the Stones outdoors, under the sunlight or the misty sunlight because the weather was a little hazy, I think. They opened up with Start Me Up Again. I've actually heard, not the whole concert, just like Houston. I've heard bits and pieces of it, and I'll give you my opinion. Again, it's kind of hard to tell exactly what they really sound like because I'm watching this stuff through cell phones that people recorded. But with that said, most of the people who recorded it were really close. And you could get a good idea of the sound. Obviously, it's nothing like being there. But we'll talk about it. Start Me Up as the opener again. And Get Off of My Cloud, which is, I'm thrilled that that's back in, was the second song. Out of Time. Houston, I think the third song was Rocks Off, but this time they go into Out of Time. That's the song that I'm most excited about hearing. It was always number one on my list of songs that I want the Stones to play that they never played live, and they are. And he does a sing-along at the end of it, which is really great. So it sounded really good. I was really impressed with that. Angry sounds real good to me. Then they did Let It Bleed, and there's some pictures, apparently, of them doing Let It Bleed. They brought out a guest on accordion, and that is Dwayne Dopsy. I'm not sure who he was, but kind of cool that they had that special guest. And Let It Bleed is a cool song to hear live. Gotta be honest with you, it has never been one of my favorite Stone songs. Love the album. It's a really good song. It's a classic, but it's never been one that I was like, oh, God, I wish they would play that. Or when they play it, I've never been overly impressed with it, honestly. But they did it. I mean, this shirt right here is from '81. And this is the actual '81 tour shirt. They played Let It Bleed there. I always talk about one of the best shows I ever saw was they played Let It Bleed. I saw three shows on that tour, and one of them they messed up Let It Bleed so bad that they actually had to stop it in the middle. I always remember that. But it was great, live music. So this was Let It Bleed, mixed playing the acoustic, added a nice effect with the accordion. And that's a cool thing when they do that. So that's fine. Ronnie Wood was playing lap steel over there, and from what I saw, it was okay. He's a great player, but didn't sound that great to me, at least what I was hearing on that cell phone. So that was Let It Bleed. After that, they did what's probably the highlight of the show. They brought out the original singer of Time Is On My Side, Irma Thomas. And how cool was that? They have never performed with her, and they brought her out. And, her version came out right before the Stones version. They copied it right away. The Stones version, obviously, is great. There's two Stones versions. You do know that, right? There's the keyboard organ opening version and the guitar solo version. Two different versions. But they brought her out, and that must have been great live. I saw footage of the song, video footage of the song, and I thought it was great. And thought that was a very classy move on the Stones' part. She is a New Orleans resident, so made it even sweeter that they brought her out, and she looked like she was having a good old time, and the Stones looked like they were having a really good old time. Classy move. One great thing about the Stones, from the very beginning, when they borrow something from somebody else, they always give the credit. Bring them out when they can. Unlike certain other bands, Led Zeppelin, who try to take credit for stuff that they didn't write. The Stones always brought out Howlin' Wolf and the original people. Anyway, Time Is On My Side. So the beginning set right there, a little bit different. Then they did Whole Wide World, which is a song from Hackney Diamonds that I was hoping they would play live. And the version I heard on the video sounded really good. I prefer it over Mess You Up, which was the other one they did. Whole Wide World sounded good. I love Mick doing his Cockney accent on there. After that, you get to the regular part of the show that I guess is going to be standard for the rest of the tour. 18 songs in total. 2-hour set list. Not a very long show, even for the Stones. They always were doing 2:15, 2.5 even, over the last bunch of tours. So they've cut it down. But after that, you get Tumbling Dice, and I gotta tell you something, the version of Tumbling Dice that I heard was just okay. Ronnie Wood, man, his guitar solo was not very inspired. We'll just put it that way. I mean, they are just lacking in the lead guitar department these years. They did You Can't Always Get What You Want, had the French horn coming out, always great. And Keith did Little TNA, and again, I loved it. I love that song. I think it's great that he's playing that for the first time in many, many years. and that's a good choice. They did Sympathy for the Devil as we go into the Warhorses. Honky Tonk Women, Miss You, an extended version. That's like 9+ minutes and a little bit different because Mick is playing a lot of harmonica on it, and you get the Darryl Jones bass solo. It's really funky, and do you really need 9 minutes of Miss You? Maybe they would play something different, possibly, but I got to tell you, it always works live. Gimme Shelter. Well, same criticism I have. She does a really good job, Chanel Haynes, what she does, but and I appreciate she's not trying to imitate Lisa Fischer, but her part where when Lisa Fischer used to do it, oh my God, I would see God and you literally get chills. And she would do unbelievable vocals, and Chanel Haynes to me plays it more straight. She bounces off really well with Mick Jagger, but it's not at that same level, in my opinion. The other thing I noticed, did you notice when, and I think I got a picture of it, when they do Gimme Shelter, Keith is sitting down. He's sitting down on the stage. Well, I got a picture of it somewhere. But he's sitting down on the stage playing the opening lick of Gimme Shelter. And maybe that's not such a big deal, but I don't know, it just kind of struck me. I'm like, is he not well? Maybe he really is recovering from COVID. Maybe that's why he's only playing one song. Maybe he's sitting during Gimme Shelter's opening. I'm not 100% sure, but it did strike me, and I saw it again. I'm like, I don't know. Anyway, Painted Black came next, and also, not to get nitpicky, but the opening of Painted Black on this tour so far is not impressive. Go back to Steel Wheels, which was the first time they started playing Painted Black again. The opening was amazing, and that was Keith. Now it's just a shadow of it was. So, but it was okay. Jumpin' Jack Flash, Sweet Sounds of Heaven is amazing. I'm looking forward to that. Some people are criticizing that it's in the encore. I don't think so. I think it's a great bring down the house kind of a song. And then they end with the perfunctory Satisfaction. So 18 songs, 2 hours. There's your set list. The reaction that I'm kind of feeling from listening to it again on people's cell phones, again, it's kind of like, the Stones used to be Keith's band in the sense that he led the band. His rhythm guitar was the lead instrument, so to speak. Charlie always followed Keith. And I always say that Stones, especially you listen to like Tumbling Dice, for instance, the Stones have this push and pull that is totally unique with them. Plus the way that Charlie would play on the hi-hat. Charlie is always a fraction behind Keith, and it creates this tension. And now it sounds to me that the band really is following the rhythm section, of Darryl Jones and Steve Jordan. They are very powerful players. They're very locked in. They do a great job, but it's a different sounding Stones. They roll, they don't rock, which is okay. I mentioned that in the last video, and they do. They're rolling. The bass is very prominent, but not in a bad way. But again, it seems to me that what's really carrying the band is the rhythm section, and then Keith and Ronnie Wood kind of put in their magic dust, so to speak, and try to fill in with their magical guitar weaving, which honestly is really not all that magical anymore. So Mick is a miracle. Listen, he's getting older. His voice is not what it was as well, but considering his age, it's goddamn incredible. And I will always take my hat off to the Stones because even if they don't sound so amazing, they clearly are live. The guitar's alive, the bass and the drums is live. Mick is clearly live. And they really don't have a huge band. If you look at it, you got the 2 keyboard players, you got the 2 horns. There it is. It's a smaller band than it had been. You got the 2 keyboard players, Chuck Leavell and Matt Clifford. You got the 2 horn players, and then the back. That's it. The 2 background singers as well, and the 5 guys. So they're producing all that sound up there, good or bad. But I'll take that anytime over the Eagles and every other damn band that's out there playing to backing tracks and fake vocals. They're still the real deal, so my hat off to them. we'll see how the tour progresses. I'm going to be seeing them at MetLife, and looking forward to Angry and Out of Time. I do wish they would mix up, the warhorses, but, I'm not naive enough to know that when you're playing stadiums, 90% of the audience only knows those tracks, and that's what they want to see. So, but, that opening, that looks like they're changing it a little bit. Out of Time, Angry, Let It Bleed, Time Is on My Side, World, Whole Wide World, a little bit of change. I wouldn't expect much more than that. And I still expect Keith got to be playing a second song at some point, unless he really just can't handle it physically anymore. Or maybe he is recovering from COVID. What else? They did the introductions. Jagger got a little political. He said something like, Governor Landry wants to bring us back to the Stone Age. I'm not exactly sure what that means, because I don't know what's going on in the politics of New Orleans. But I guess Jagger unusual for making some kind of comment. So, David or anybody in New Orleans, if you know what that's a reference to, you could let us know. David, thanks for sharing your amazing pictures and your comments. That's awesome of you. Glad you had a great time. Enjoy the rest of the festival. And thanks for watching the Alan Rosenberg Show with this Rolling Stones report. I will see you next time on the Alan Rosenberg Show. What do I always say from the beginning? Because I started during COVID. Stay safe, stay healthy, and I'll see you next time. Have a good one.